Good afternoon and happy new year. I am Dr. Noni Davis and I am here at St. C Academy representing my family. Um, I am a legacy owner of St. C Academy. We've been here. Next month will be 30 years that we've been operating. And so I am so excited about the new year and what it's going to bring for St. C Academy. Now, today I wanted to share something that this year I've been very deliberate about the way I have been moving spiritually. I've been on my a more in-depth spiritual journey than I usually am. And so today I wanted to let's see what some of the predictions for New Year, some of the things that have been forecast for how we move this year. And according to several spiritual systems, first of all, uh, they're saying we have reset. So apparently we have years that operate in 1 through 9. I didn't know that. And this year is a 1 year. Last year, 2025 was a 9. 2 plus 2, you take out the 0. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. And so that was considered a 9 year, and 9 is supposed to bring closure. But this is a 1 year. So 2026 is 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 6 is 10. But once again, you're removing the 0. So we're back to 1. Because this system only operates, numerology operates in those 1 through 9, I think, when it comes to the years and birth dates and stuff like that. So according to askastrology.com, I said, let me just go and see what all of this is about. It considers this to be a year of fresh beginnings, bold choices, renewed motivation. Folks should move confidently and boldly. Activate your creativity and independence, and strive for clarity. And so, I went and did my little destiny numbers, and for my destiny number, I'm a 1, and for my life path number, it says I'm a 9, and it says, year 1, leadership, initiating personal projects, embrace independence, talent, flourish, significant achievement. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a good one. And integrate it into service and completion during a year, transformative projects aligned with humanitarian or creative efforts, blending endings with fresh starts. I said, okay, so that sounds pretty good. And so I focused on that's yeah, look at astrology.com, askastrology.com. And if you're interested in doing that, that would be something that would be it's fun to do and to see where you are in that space. But I also said, let me look at what Ifa is saying. And so Ifa is a West African spiritual tradition, and they have predictions or forecasts for years. And I usually just talk to a Babalawo about what that is. But this year I decided, let me go read for myself. What is this site? And I'll show you what the site is because it's very interesting. Uh, let's see. I'll close that. So there are a couple of sites, but it is okay. This is the site. It says in Osha oshaifa.com, and it says uh, letters del ano año, and this is because this is from Cuba, this particular one, but it is also at Odu, Ifa, all of that. And you have the people from Brazil who practice their version, Cuba practice their Santeria Akumi, Ifa. There are all kinds of branches of Yoruba in the West, and then Hoodoo and Vodun are another example. But I decided to see what the predictions of the spiritual forecast for 2026 would be, and I think that this one is very telling for Black people because this one is specifically for African Americans, in my opinion. Um, and so the Yoruba Cultural Group of Cuba unveiled their 2026 letter of the year. And this is a year under the ruling sign of Ogunda Atarpan, and which is an Edu that warns of potential conflicts, social unrest, and health challenges. So I was like, this one sounds pretty accurate because we are already in a crazy space in America. There's a lot of conflict in the world right now. We have them everywhere: Gaza, Congo, Sudan, the Tigray people in Ethiopia. It's a problem. There's a lot of social unrest in Europe, all over. All over, people are fighting, and there are going to be health challenges, and of course, stress. Also, because America, we have pollution and all of this kind of stuff. So I was like, oh, this this one is the real forecast. So, um, this Odu calls for reflection and spiritual balance. And so I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm trying to fix my space here so I can read better. Oh, let me just turn it around all the way. So this one is spiritual balance and learning from past mistakes to avoid repeating them. America does not learn their lessons. Anyway, under the guidance of Ogun, and Ogun, I think I've showed you who Ogun is. Ogun is the god of iron. And so here's Ogun, god of iron. But Ogun is also associated with technology and innovation. What else does it say? And innovation in the spirit, in Ifa spiritual system. And then you have Oshun. And this is Oshun. And Oshun is the female Orisha of love, sweetness, and rivers. So both of these elements are kind of oppositional. And these Orishas are oppositional, but it's going to show you what you have to do this year in order to make it. So the prediction encourages Cubans to enhance family harmony and maintain both physical and mental health in what is anticipated to be a challenging year. It's going to be what it is. So the prophetic Ifa proverb that reflects this year says, through the mother, the child is saved. So this is the year that emphasizes the relationship between parents and children. The blessing, the protection, and the balance are derived from the respect and spiritual energy of elders, particularly mothers and grandmothers. And so the end of last year, I think because of this nonsense that Trump has been doing, or that dumpster fire, the orange man, he has done a lot to undermine women. And so this energy of respecting women, by the end of the year, you're seeing all this pushback by women, like, we're not going to be disrespectful. We're not going to have this foolishness going on. And so now you have women this is about women being respected, women being demonstrating leadership, eldership, and that energy has to balance out the family. So for Cuba, this means that women are the cornerstone of the home and education, and only by reconnecting with the maternal strength, love, stability, and wisdom can collective salvation and harmony be achieved. So women are going to be the balancing force in 2026. And so I was like, this is really interesting. EFA also predicts that there may be an increase in blood related ailments. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of health issues, hepatitis, diabetes, hypertension, disorders related to the nervous system and digestive system. Um, we're going to, and the response in Cuba, mind you, has one of the best healthcare systems in the world. And this is what they're focusing on. And so if they're going to have a problem with health, America needs to pull its act together because we definitely are getting ready to have a problem. And so it says improve public and collective hygiene to disease related outbreaks. So it's very possible that we're going to have a lot of illnesses in this country, and it's the flu has come through, and a lot of people. I'm still struggling with it myself, and for the last 3 weeks, maybe four, because I think it was before we went on a break. And uh, do you have cytological tests for women? Because now you've got a lot of things that are going to be impacting the cells. You've got these infections and inflammatory conditions. And so the ODU also included a message from Ormila and just concern about household disputes. So there's going to be like a lot of chaotic energy, but we're going to have to return to the maternal energy to bring this down. I'm like, wow, this is deep. And so there's going to be increased violence among young people. And the way to address this is by enhancing educational and family relational programs to reduce conflicts. Or Millet reinforces the role of mothers to maintain harmony and balance in the household. So the mothers, women, were consistently coming up as the solution to some of this angst that we're going to experience. And as an educator, I have seen these trends in families, some of it because we have all forgotten our roles in the community because we live in, this rugged independence and rugged individualism in this uncivilized place, which glorifies your youth. It does not undermines women. It encourages foolishness, greed, and violence. And I don't think we should. While I don't believe that we should be regulating people and telling them how they have to act, we do have to understand that there needs to be respect. There needs to be accountability for people's behavior, and we need to seek how do we create harmonious and balanced relationships. And so for African people in general, this year, they said the thing is that the year is hopeful, but it's also conditional. And this is the term. It says, Ire ariku oyale lowo arula. There are blessings available. So 2026, you could get a whole lot of opportunities, get a whole lot of challenge. Things that could go your way, but it's all going to depend on how you walk this year. You have the Ogun energy because we started that with this thing. Ogunda, work, iron, discipline, innovation, technology. So all of these things, building civilizations, that's what Ogun represents. But it's paired with Oshun, which is sensitivity, diplomacy, and strategy. So it can't be all physical force and no emotional intelligence. It has to be both. And if you don't walk in both, it says force alone is not enough. So we know we can get in arguments and you can fight and and I'm like this. Whoo, last year was a mess for me, but force alone is not enough. And emotion without direction is not enough. So we can't be just all emotional and be, what does it say for sensitivity, no diplomacy, strategy, just being out here, just all, emotional and with no direction. And we can't and we also cannot be about force and trying to push things and force things to happen the way we want to. So important. So the promise for 2026, the reward of 2026 is balance. Promise, firm health, and stability. And it comes with some, some things that we have to be mindful of. And so one of the things that says alcohol, impulsiveness, conflicts, justice. These things are going can what is it derail your success. Um, you can't be impulsive. This is not a year to be impulsive. This is not a year to drink alcohol and be in a stupor. This is not a time to be in conflict with a lot of people. This is a year to and maintain internal order, discretion, and strategy. Don't be prideful. Don't be impulsive. Don't be a show off. Be disciplined. Let's see, cool headed were some of the words. Don't, this is a time where you shouldn't, uh, what does it say? I'm trying to think. You keep trying the same thing and it doesn't work. I can't remember what the little the line is, but it says familiarity. Um, familiarity can be destructive. If you keep going down the same paths that you've gone down before and got the same results, you need to stop. So, um, excesses, you don't need to be excessive arguing. You have to be mindful of folks who are not don't have a good influence on you, and avoidable mistakes. You have to think about, what am I doing and how is this? Uh-oh.
It's me again. I was just gonna say the word that you were looking for is doing the same thing and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. That's what you were looking for. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So I'll let
That's
you get
it.
back, but
That's it.
that's the saying.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But so so this, I'm so glad. Thank you, Mark. Um, we have to be mindful. You can't, whatever you were doing and was messing up, don't do that. Try another thing. Try something else. Um, do the right thing, survive, and move forward. It says carelessness. They said the iron that opens the path, because you got to remember, Ogun is this powerful innovator, TikTok technology, and so the path will be open for you, but it can also work against you. That same path can close, and so we have to. You have you cannot be careless. This is not a year to be careless. Avoid dangerous patterns, self-destructive. Another statement that came out of this Ogunda Atrapan was, the shoemaker's children go barefoot. The shoemaker's children go barefoot. So that means the shoemaker is making shoes for everybody else and not his own children. So what does that mean? Don't be so consumed with external things. You got to take care of your family, take care of your household this year. You can't neglect your health. You can't neglect your family. You can't neglect your mind. You can't neglect your home, and you cannot neglect your behavior. Ifa clearly states that you can appear to have it all together. You can have the ability, you have the tools, you have the opportunities, but because of neglect, carelessness, mindlessness, and ignorance, you will fail. Not because of punishment, but because of the consequences of your negligence, the consequences of your negligence. I am just sitting here like, oh, I am so glad I have this opportunity to read this. But anyway, make you mindful. So this Agun Atrapan also includes prohibitions and warnings, and I already said that. alcohol, violence, and bad company. And so when we know the company. We all went to school. We all have been in these situations where you had somebody uh take you somewhere, and you're hanging out with your friends, and you've never had anything to drink before, or you've never had any kind of um substances before, and they say, here, drink this. And because your body is not used to it, alcohol, I wasn't used to it. I passed out. And so in my college days, so I'm like being very honest about it. But my friends, these were my friends. These were people who I thought were my friends. And of course nothing happened. I ended up being in the hospital because they didn't expect me to pass out. But that was crazy. But anyway, but bad company, we know, can lead you to consuming mind altering products, and eventually pull you into a situation that becomes violent, or you can either be the abused person or the abuser, because those things are intertwined. Alcohol, or basically anything that can alter your mind, violence can be right there together. And then you're in the wrong with the wrong people who don't love you and don't have your back, and they look like they're your friends and they're not anyway. And but fortunately my friends did look out for me. They made sure I got straight. But you have to avoid situations that can impair your critical thinking and cause you to experience a tragedy, arguments, impulsive actions, irreparable mistakes, legal problems, or a loss of life. Another African proverb associated with this year is, if the dog is good, it takes good care of you. So in 2026, in this year, if we do all the things we're supposed to do, monitoring our behavior, being, don't be inebriated, you know, be level headed, be aware of what you're doing and what you're saying, you will be good. Take care of what's good. You got to take care of what's good. And what should be good? Your mind, your name, your family's name, your home, and your direction. What are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish? Walk with caution. It says, stumble against justice, which is what they say is ashelu. And that means when they said stumble against justice, what they mean here is that you don't want to escalate, create conflicts. You may, for me, stumble into justice, I mean, I'm thinking, you want to defend yourself, or you want to, um, you're in a space that, you thought you were doing the right thing, or maybe you misunderstood what was going on. But mistakes that have been ignored can escalate. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're causing the conflict. You may have been wronged, but you don't want to avoid. You want to uh, uh, avoid confrontations as much as possible. Um, Try not to respond from anger or pride, and be extremely selective with your social circle. And oh, they said also, don't boast about achievements, uh, or your money. Discretion is protection. Consult and act proactively. So even if you get into a situation, according to this Odu, um, try to rectify things as much as possible. Be proactive. uh, Try to diffuse stuff if you can, um, and be strategic. What am I doing? And consider all the possible outcomes. And my daughter has that. That's what she says all the time. What are the risks? Have we seen the full possibilities of foolishness and the full possibilities of blessings? What it could be? And only the intelligent man is saved from death. So this year, you're going to have to be smart. You're going to have to be thinking. You're going to have to know when to be quiet. when to withdraw, and when not to take that step that seems small but opens up the door to disaster. I'm like, whoa, this is. Mm-mm. So the collective warning is that the war that this is a there's war that cannot be won, and those are the argument. You know how these little simple things, people keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, arguing, and I think we're like that with MAGA right now. People are like, we can't even talk to MAGA. This is a war that cannot be won. um and it also heats up, and it turns into clashes, and it turns into people get prideful. They can't move you, and from their opinion, they can't see your perspective, and maybe you can't see their perspective either. So, and then it leads to these impulsive reactions, and it is also exhausting, and you don't get anything out of it. There's no results from it. So we have to manifest, uh, uh, um, well, what manifests as a result of that are tensions, it says confrontations, rivalries, disputes that drag on longer than we expected. So basically, try to avoid to just don't don't surrender all your energy to negativity. Basically, find ways to navigate it where you keep your peace. On a personal level, family fights, arguments with partners, work conflicts, legal battles are examples of these things that can just they just become a cycle, and they do not always get resolved. So the Odu for this one is a nail that's firmly in place is hard to pull out. So there are problems that are difficult to resolve, and force will lead to failure. So don't even extend yourself in that regard. Think about what you're doing. They said in this situation and these kind of situations, you're going to have to practice patience. You can have calculation. If I do A, is that going to get me to B, or is it going to take me to Z? And how fast or is it going to just keep me at A? Am I never going to get past this? So you have to be calculating, uh, firm. So this is not so people can walk over your head and mistreat you. You stand in your position, but you practice. You have to be level headed, and so even when you're doing things out here, you're moving forward your business, you're moving forward with whatever task that you have before you, whatever desire or that you're trying to fulfill, whatever it is. It says here, let your results speak for themselves. So instead of spending your energy arguing and fighting and in confusion, think about what you're doing. Is this a situation that I can fix? If not, don't spend a whole lot of time trying to work through it. Just sit back and let time uh, fix it. But more importantly, this year it says take care of your health. Do not ignore your health. Uh, uh, if you have headaches and nervous tension, beware of your diabetes, beware of heart attacks, beware of what is it, cholesterol levels and stuff like that. Be mindful of your health. With regards to children, be mindful. Do not do things that um, incite them to violence. Give them space. Be mindful that your punishments aren't too severe. Instead of arguing with them, give them a space to release that tension and that stress, and then engage them when they are level headed and they're in the right space. Practice self-control. It says we do not, some of us like to live on the edge of the cliff. We want to come right up to the mountain and look over that cliff. Don't live too close to the edge this year. Don't do it. Take care of the emotional environment in your home. Family mother protection. Respect mothers. Listen to your mom. ask for their blessings, and don't do things in the heat of the moment. So this is a year to of self-control and self-discipline. And if you do that, it'll be in a beautiful year for you, full of abundance. Otherwise, the things that could go wrong are going to be worse than what you thought. That's what they're saying. If you do too much, it's going to be a mess. So that's where we are. And I pray you have a blessed, happy new year, and you consider these. And like I said, go through the Odu. I'm going to show you Odu. This is Ifa. Ormila is also, these are through the line, the eyes of Ormila, and this is the Odu. This is how they did the reading. But more importantly, I want you to also, if you really want to, go and visit this website that I have here, 2026, a letter of the year 2026 predictions, ruling sign, and Ifa advice. And so, y'all be blessed. Peace.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I walk into the sound of drums.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I know my mother.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I can play the drum.
I'm a St. Cia student. Of course I can work with my hands.
I'm a St. Cia student.